Good morning, and welcome to the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. With the always evolving world of cyber threats and defense, you need a source you can trust. FBI retired Special Agent Darren Mott guides you through today's intricate cyber landscape and brings you the latest headlines and insights and what it means to you. Let's dive into today's cyber news.
Good morning, friends. It is Friday, September 29th, 2023. This is the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. I am your host, retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Darren Mott. And since it's Friday, it is Op-Ed Friday on the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. So before I get into the op-ed, and this op-ed is titled, Law Firms, Get Your Shit Together. Apologies for the vulgarity here, but that's the only way I could come across, only good headline I could come across. So, but before I get to that, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to download and listen to the podcast. Those who've done so for the last couple of weeks as I've been doing this, I'll continue on for a while until people say, stop, we don't want to hear this anymore. So for those who have let me know on LinkedIn that they enjoy it, I appreciate that. My goal here, obviously, is to make people aware of what's going on in the cyber world, because there's a lot of news, a lot of time, and not everybody has the time or the effort or the desire to look into it. But there's information from all of these cyber incidents that we can all learn from to become a little cyber smarter, so we get a whole lot cyber safer. So it is Friday. I'm a little late getting this one out today on a Friday. My wife had some surgery yesterday, so I'm a little tired from that. But this particular op-ed for this Friday came across because this week, or actually for a couple weeks now, I've been getting no less than 3 to 4 emails per day from law firms that are asking me to open some document or sign some form or whatever. And I never open them. I never look at them because I know that they are compromised accounts sending out phishing emails. The weird thing for me, though, is they're coming to one specific email address. So I have a bunch of different email addresses for a bunch of different reasons. My main one is darren.mott@gmail.com is the main email that I generally use. But I also have a darren@thecyberguy.com email, which I use for this podcast and some other stuff that I do. But I've been getting all of these legal, or rather law firm phishing emails to my cyber guy email, which I'm not sure if hackers are trying to figure out if they can compromise me and then they can make fun that the cyber guy got compromised. But that's the only thing I can figure. Maybe that's why it's coming there. But I'm getting all of them are always coming to that one. It's kind of weird. Don't know why. Haven't really done any research into it. But my point here being, I talked to a friend of mine who works with law firms, and he said they are getting hit all the time. And so why are law firms being targeted? Well, chances are, in most cases, they don't spend a lot of time on, or spend a lot of money rather, on cybersecurity mitigation and remediation and stuff like that. And it looks like a lot of these are likely business email compromise oriented, probably credential stuffing, and chances are through some data breach, some lawyer or some in a law firm had their legitimate logins and passwords compromised, and they're still active. Bad guys use it, get into the email, and then can create a spearfish or a phishing email with a malformed Word document or PDF document or a link to your Office 365 with a fake login page to try to get your email account so they can then compromise your information. And chances are these are happening between law firms. So one law firm gets hit, they send out a bulk bunch of phishing emails to other law firms, and then other law firms get hit, and then those law firms get hit. It's a repeating cycle. So how do we solve this problem? And the point being, it's really not just law firms. I'm just focusing on law firms right now simply because that's what I'm seeing currently. And I'm calling these law firms and saying, hey, I'm not sure if you know this, but you've got a lawyer who has his email compromised. They go, we know, we're working on it. All right, great. The problem is, are they fixing it afterwards? Are they implementing multi-factor authentication? I don't know. I'm going to guess probably not. So we're going to continue to see this. And if you're a law firm, the question you have to ask yourself is, A, are our employees, are the lawyers even for our law firm aware of these cyber threats? Well, they are afterwards. Are they beforehand? Clearly they are not. If they were aware beforehand, these problems wouldn't occur. Do we have multi-factor authentication turned on? Obviously they do not, because there are credentials being used that are allowing bad guys into the email accounts of these lawyers at these law firms that are then allowing these phishing emails to be created and sent out. And then the other question is, do we care? Do they care? That's my question. Do they just kind of, reboot the system, send out an email saying, sorry that you got this email, but we've been compromised, blah, blah, blah. Do they care about their brand? It does not appear to be so, because again, like I'm saying, I'm probably, by the time you read this, I will have gotten 3 today that ask me to click on a link and enter my login credentials to my Outlook or my Office 365 or whatever, hoping that bad things will happen to me. So I make all that point to say, it's not just law firms. I'm sure there are accounting firms, there are all sorts of firms getting hit by this, but it's just law firms I'm seeing currently. I'm just using law firms as the example. So things to learn from this, obviously, is you must educate your employees as to what to look for in scam emails. Obviously, a lot of companies do phishing emails testing, right? Because there's a whole market for it. KnowBe4 makes millions of dollars, billions of dollars because of that particular functionality. But that has a limited lifespan. In other words, eventually people recognize the phishing-oriented emails. What they don't recognize is what the bad guys are doing. In other words, a lot of phishing emails are created, but they're not created by the bad guys. They're created by good guys who are trying to be bad guys, and they're not bad guys. The bad guys are going to use AI to create new emails. They're going to convince people to open links or open attachments, click on links, and things like that. So again, are you aware of it? And then again, the big thing, multi-factor authentication, different passwords for different accounts. Are you aware of where your information has been compromised in current data breaches? Go to Have I Been Pwned to see where it has, and then make sure that you have changed your passwords. The best thing you can do, honestly, is forget your password, because then you're forced to change it. Make sure your passwords are long, and then have some kind of instant response plan in place, because when this happens, you're going to have to deal with it, figure out how deep it goes into your organization, find other email accounts that have been compromised, and fix those. So that's the op-ed for today. Real quick, I've been going over 10 minutes every day, so I figured I'd give you all a short one for Friday so you can get on with your lives. We'll be back again on Monday talking all the cyber news, because my guess is that the cybercrime, the cyber security issues of the day will not cease over the weekend, and we will have a lot to talk about on Monday. Until then, I hope you enjoy your Friday. Know that knowledge is protection. If you can understand the threats targeting you, you can assess your risk, proceed wisely, and if you get a little cyber smarter, you get a whole lot cyber safer. Have a great week. If you have thoughts, comments, questions on this podcast or any of my other podcasts, I'll have a couple coming out this weekend from the Cyber Guy. You can email me, Darren@thecyberguy.com. Follow me on all the social media stuff, Substack, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, all that stuff. Do not look for me on TikTok. You won't find me there. Have a great weekend.
Cyber Smart Morning News is written and produced by Cyber Guy Productions. Feel free to email thoughts, comments, or suggestions to Darren@thecyberguy.com. or follow Darren on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/DarrettMott. Thanks for listening.